Good day. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Sunday, sunrise. Nice, crisp, cold December 31st, the last day of the year. And of course, this morning I have a scratchy throat. So excuse me while I get a little clear. Okay. I'm just going to give it a couple of moments to see who comes into the chat room this morning. Welcome, Chris. We had snow yesterday morning, but it was only about 3 inches. I'm sure it's probably a lot more there. So I'm just going to give it a couple moments, see who comes into the chat room. I don't have a whole lot of time this morning, but I figure if I don't get my lives done in the morning, the day just gets occupied and the inspiration is gone. So I have to do these when I get inspired. Too much over planning really doesn't do it for me. So I just have a reminder for everyone, whether you're here in the chat room or watching this live later. Today at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, December 31st, 2017, we're going to have a wonderful special guest on. And I mentioned this special guest yesterday. We're going to discuss the monsters and creatures that live inside of us, that ultimately destroy our lives unless we get them in check and rid ourselves of them. So what's the temperature out there where you are, Chris? What's the temperature? Let's see. Here, it is a balmy 21 degrees. 21 degrees. And apparently, wait a minute. That can't be. Okay. Hold on one second. Let's see. Let me, well, that can't be correct. Okay, yes. My weather app was not updating. So I'm like, it can't be snowing again. Okay, it is a balmy 10 degrees outside. It's 10 degrees. It's 10 freaking degrees. And we're gonna get a high of 7, wait a minute. It's gonna peak at 2 p.m. and be 17 degrees. So cold your tea from last night froze. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm sure most people are in the bed still, but I'm going to go ahead and get this started because I really have to leave soon, very soon. But anywho, yes, app is not updating, but it is 10 degrees out. So I'm going to make sure that I bundle up before I step outside the door. So anyway, as I was mentioning before, we're going to have an amazing guest on today, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope to see some of you folk here. And this guest, as I mentioned, we're going to discuss the monsters that live inside of us. It's going to be extremely informative. And yeah, it's going to be something you're not going to want to miss because it's going to ultimately deal with our physical health. These monsters that live inside of us help to destroy our mental health. And I truly believe that it is the monsters inside of us that encourage us to, exhibit anger, short temper, and add to our stress, which helps to keeps society basically on edge. You know, it's that thing like when you're sitting at the traffic light and it turns green, and maybe you didn't catch the first 3 seconds of it being green, and next thing you know, the person behind you is honking the horn like a maniac and cursing you out because of that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get out the chimes so we can go ahead and move this forward. Get ready for the chimes. Keep hitting my painting. And thought it'd be nice if we pull a card from our deck, the 4 agreements, and see what new agreement can we make with ourselves today, and as we're heading into the new year. And I've seen going around on Facebook, I've seen going around on Facebook I've seen going around on Facebook this question. I guess this is what I don't know if this is what you would call a meme. Maybe it's not a meme, but I've seen people say, post a word in the comments, a positive word that we can take forward into the new year. And so for myself, I would take and continue to take on, I'd have 2 words. The first word would be discernment. And I did a video on it, touched on it. So if you check down in the archives, down below in the description, you'll see my name. And then you can click my name and go to my channel and check out all of the videos that I've done. I don't really have any playlist available, but you can check in there. And so the word is discernment. And I think it's something that a lot of the times we have it. And I think even as young children definitely have intuition, which is like discernment. But one of the things we parents have done and adults have done to children, think of a child, meet someone, and this stranger, or even if it's a relative, want to give this child a hug. And the child is like, mm-mm, no, no. And then the parents, the other adults are like, stop being mean, be nice, give them a hug, hug, hug. And everything is encouraging the child to go against their own intuition, their own discernment, their own instincts. And so what happens is over time, when people get shunned, and punishment, when a child is punished or told to go sit in the corner, or told they're not being nice because they won't give grandma a hug, and that's really unkind, they're basically being shunned. They're being taught and told that their own inner wisdom is inappropriate. So what happens as we get older and older, we learn that's not nice. Don't think those thoughts. I remember one time I met a person, and this was a person that other people had wanted me to meet. And initially I was sort of really busy and didn't have an opportunity to meet this person. But then later I was in a public area, and this person came in, and having never seen the person before, I immediately knew when that person arrived, that was that person that I had communicated via email and other people wanted me to meet. And so I saw the person come into the establishment, and so I was like, oh, okay, that must be so-and-so. And then when this person walked up to me to meet me for the first time, because they recognized me as well, which wouldn't have been very difficult given where we were. Let me go ahead and put this on silence. So when the person, and people had described me to this person. So when this person walked up to me, immediately, it's just, and I would say maybe a couple of other times. One other time in my adulthood, I can't really remember as far back as my teenager, younger years, if that particular incident had happened before. But when this person walked up to me to introduce themselves, immediately the involuntary response of my body and of my being was to recoil and kind of close in on myself, and like mentally I was like, oh, like that. And as soon as it happened, as soon as I had this visceral response in me, the conditioned response, the nice girl response was like, Tamu, don't be so judgmental. Get a chance to know her. Don't do this. Don't trust your instincts. I didn't say don't trust my instincts, but that's pretty much what was being said in my mind. My feeling, don't trust my instinct. And so what did I do? I squashed down that feeling and that intuition, that feeling, and went ahead and engaged with this person, and uh, started a friendship with this person. And even though throughout the initial stages and throughout the friendship, there were times in my mind where I was like, oh, this isn't, discernment was picking up. And then again, it was like, oh, everybody's different, just, embrace, blah, blah, blah. Yep, until that one couple of defining moments, and then that one pinnacle of a moment that was just like, you're burned. And I couldn't really blame the other person, because my discernment, my intuition had kicked in. Discernment was there. It kept telling me to be careful, and I kept, and yeah. And it was a situation that was confirmed by other people. And if I had to just trust it myself, and that's one of the things we do when we tell children, when we force a child to hug someone and embrace someone when they're not feeling it. So, I know I got off on a tangent. So let me get back on the track that I wanted to be. So let me go ahead and read the card that I pulled for today. And it's be impeccable with your word. And this is from the 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your word. And the topic is realize the power of your word. Your word is the power that you have to create. It is a gift that comes directly from God. So there you go. Isn't that beautiful? I love how the lotus blossom, the lotus, the flower, it's right there at the area of the third eye. So there you go. There you go. So let's take a nice, deep, centering breath and welcome us into this sacred circle. So there we go. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Put that there. So I just want to, I noticed on my videos, I used to introduce myself at the beginning of the videos, and I stopped doing that. So let me just make a quick introduction of myself in case you don't know who I am. I am Tamu and Ngina, and I refer to myself as Priestess of Self. Okay, so that's Tamu and Ngina. I have a website. You can check out my website, www.tamuandngina.com. And if you're unsure how to spell my name, look down there in the description box and you will see my name. And you can also find me on Instagram and on Facebook with the username at Tamu and Ngina. That is my my public artist profile, not my personal profile, my artist profile. So let me go ahead and put these cards up. So today I wanted to touch slightly on a continuation of part 2 on what I had started to discuss. I think it was Friday. Yeah, it was Friday. And that is on the importance of our breath, of connecting with our first source of life. And I have a graphic up here that I would like to share with everyone as I am going to share some information with you. So let me get rid of that. I still have Kuan Yin's image up here. So I'm going to go ahead and share this graphic with you. So I may have shared this graphic before, but we were talking about breathing and about the breath and about the first, being connected with our first source of life. The breath is the first thing that welcomes us into life and lets the midwife, the nurses and the midwife and our mother know that we are indeed a healthy a healthy human being that has been born into the world, and that is our breath. And I touched on it a little bit, even in the tarot deck. Traditionally speaking, the very first card, which is sort of outside of the deck, is the Fool's card. And as I mentioned before, as we learned in our previous studies, that Fool is derived from Follis or Follis, which is folly in whether it's Latin or French, which is windbag. So, and the Fool card represents our soul coming out of, the energetic realm, of the spiritual realm, and touching ground on the earth. And the Fool is represented by a young person who is very, very vital. It's male or feminine. It's a good combination of the masculine and feminine. So whether you look at the Fool's card as a female or as a male, but breath, it's like you're coming into this world, and to be in touch with your fullness of vitality is all about deep breathing and all about breathing. So we might ask ourselves, what is deep breathing? Okay, deep breathing, as I did research on WebMD, because I like to use sources as we're doing this, through my studies over the years, the foundation of my spiritual practice, as well as my holistic practice and ministry, is all about the breath. In Mend Soul, which is the name of my business, Mend is an acronym for meditation, energetics, nature, and deep diaphragmatic breathing. Deep breathing is one of the best ways to lower stress in the body. And this is because when you breathe deeply, it sends a message to your brain to calm down and to relax. The brain then sends this message to your body. And one of the best ways to really get in tune with deep breathing and learning how to breathe very deeply are doing sort of diaphragm exercises. And breathing exercises are a good way to relax, reduce tension, and relieve stress. Now, that's purely on a physical level. Okay. Such energy works as traditional Japanese Reiki are surrounded by energetic breathing, energetic deep breathing through the 3 gems of our body, or the dantians, the energy centers, the hara, which is just about 2 inches below your belly button. And there's one center area, breathing into your heart. And then you have the crown chakra, the crown area up at your head, your third eye area. And that is the heaven. The lower dantian is the earth. And then the center is the heart, and doing breathing exercises to breathe into that. And not only spiritually speaking, so we go back to the physical, breathing deep also lends towards helping to relieve anxiety. So when we go back to the Fool's card and see that, the Fool represents our fullest potential. It represents like that 0 point, that source of vitality, that source of vitality. In order to reach that source and be connected to that source of life, to that vitality, and to breathe it up, to build it up. I said breathe it up. That was a slip of the tongue. But to build it up, we really have to practice and focus on breathing nice and deep. The breathing deeply helps to calm your body down. And there are many ways that breathing deep helps. When we are confronted with pain, it is our nature to hold our breath, but breathing through the pain is actually what will help us most. Most women who have given birth naturally or while they're awake, not through cesarean, but through the natural processes of giving birth, we're always taught that you have to breathe through the contractions. When you hold your breath, it is what causes the contractions to grip on your body and to hurt even more. But when you breathe and breathe through it, your body is better able to relax, so it's able to do what it does, which is to give birth hopefully without complications. When I have my clients on my table, and especially with doing reflexology, if it's painful or tenderness, it's always the natural response of the person is to immediately tense up and tighten up and hold their hold their breath and withdraw into themselves. And I always encourage them to breathe through it, because when we breathe and we breathe deeply, we oxygenate the blood, which causes our brains to release endorphins. And it's these endorphins that help to reduce stress in the body and decrease the levels of the pain. So I'm touching on the physical aspects of breathing because one of the reasons why I decided to do this, and not just the spiritual aspects of breathing deeply, is because, not everybody is into doing breath work for mystical reasons or spiritual reasons, or even for meditation, but even purely on a physical level, it doesn't even matter what your spiritual pursuits are. If your body isn't healthy, we all know what happens when our body isn't healthy, okay? When that 4 alarm goes off in your body, and I don't know what happened here. Let me know if you hear any strange sounds in the chat. My computer just started to make a strange sound. When we're not getting enough breathing, enough oxygen into our body, we have tense muscles. We're easier to get stressed out. There's more toxins in our blood. There's toxic air in our blood. We're holding on to a little more carbon dioxide than we should. So breathing deep helps to oxygenate the blood, which oxygenates the cells, which oxygenates and invigorates the muscles, and it helps with clearer thinking. And other benefits of breathing deep includes reduction in stress. It helps to lower your blood pressure. Breathing deep also helps to strengthen the abdominal muscles and the intestinal muscles, and it helps to relieve the body generally of aches and pains. Because deep breathing also helps to promote better blood flow. It helps to, it helps the circulation. And when the circulation is better and the blood flow is better, the release of toxins from the body works a lot better. And you're able to sleep, have better sleep. So if you're suffering from countless nights of insomnia and issues with your sleep, really, and this, even if you're not, take time to assess where you are throughout your day. Majority of adults tend to breathe just into their very upper chest cavity, just above their breast area, just below their just below their clavicle area, about 5 inches below, breathing just enough to keep them upright and somewhat conscious. And a lot of people are afraid of deep breathing because they don't want to make sounds. They want to be quiet. We've been taught to be silent and to be quiet. So people, it's so funny, sometimes I'll tell clients, I say, do some nice deep breathing and release. It takes about 4 times, and ultimately I'll end up having to just go. So if you join with me and take a nice deep breath, nice and slow in, and then go out, and really get that out and make that audible ha sound or that hissing sound, you'd be amazed at the energy you'll find that starts to well up in your body when you do that. So as I was touching before, deep breathing not only benefits your body, okay, but it lends over into the mystical and spiritual realms. My most powerful, energetic healing sessions have been when I truly engage in that cycle of deep breathing, almost envisioning my body as a torus and breathing in, and then, as the breath goes out, and imagining that same breath coming up through my feet and then out and then in and out and over. And as you're doing that, and as you're engaging, whether it's in Tai Chi or Qigong or even Reiki, as you practice that more and more, you'll begin to really feel your hands buzz, feel your energetic area buzz, and your aura just begins to really vibrate and, touch other people. So I want to, just encourage you to embrace deep breathing. And it's only so much I can go into on a video without making it long and boring for you. And if there's anyone out there that is interested in connecting with me and needing more tips on deep breathing, I invite you to reach out to me. Here's a really nice graphic from the Huffington Post. And it's change your breathing, change your life. So I would like to just leave this with you as I get ready to sign off, as we're ending this wonderful year of 2017 and moving into the year of 2018. How about we move into this year being committed to our first source of life, our breath, being committed to really focusing and making sure that we're breathing deeply to our fullest capacity. Focusing on your own breathing can have a significant impact on your well-being and stress levels, awakening your mind and body while also lowering blood pressure and reducing anxiety. Here are 7 big health reasons to stop and exhale. And then take a nice deep inhale. Number 1, stimulate brain growth. When controlled breathing is used during meditation, it can actually increase the size of the brain. Meditation that involves focusing one's attention on the breath has the capacity to increase cortical thickness, according to a 2005 Harvard study. Number two, improve heart rate variability. Low heart rate variability, the interval of time between heartbeats, has been associated with a greater risk of heart attacks. A 2012 study found that non-yogic deep breathing practices can improve heart rate variability in healthy test subjects. So you saw mentioned here is non-yogic. Yogic breathing, you want to do that one-on-one with someone, with a teacher, someone that can actually, help you and make sure that you're not doing it incorrectly, because there could be some consequences to that. You don't want to play around with yogic breath unless you know what you're doing. Number three, lower stress levels. If your breathing is shallow, your body is probably in fight or flight mode, reacting to stress, says Ardito. Taking a minute or two to sit quietly and focus on your breathing helps your body achieve a state of calm, shifting from functioning out of sympathetic nervous system, characterized by drive, flight, and ambition, to the parasympathetic nervous system, which puts the body in a state of relax and receive. Number four, alleviate anxiety and negative emotions. We could all use that. Many of us have felt short of breath during times of panic or stress. This is the body's natural reaction to perceived threat. Focusing our breathing can help to alleviate anxiety symptoms of depression and other negative emotions. Last year, Australian researchers found that deep breathing 30 minutes before performance effectively reduced musicians' performance anxiety. And that reminds me, I have a friend who works in a factory where they pretty much treat people like indentured servants. And he told me that every day before he goes into work, that before he gets out of the car, he sits in the car and he meditates and breathes deep for several minutes before going in. So, breathing deep in the morning for several minutes before you start today, I guarantee will help you to have a better day. And here's something that I've also experienced myself. Taking time to sit in meditation and breathing deep for at least 5 to 20 minutes. I would say at least go for 10 to 15 minutes. You will be amazed. One of the biggest complaints that people have is, oh, I don't have enough time. Time is just moving so fast. There's not enough time in the day. If you take 10 minutes out of your schedule before you start the day in the morning, and sit in meditation and breathe deep, you would be utterly amazed at how, as you go through the rest of your day, you're actually able to embrace and enjoy each of the moments and make the use of the time. And you'd be surprised at how slowly the movement of time, and therefore you feel less stressed and more relaxed and actually feel as though you're accomplishing something. It's all perception and how your body is healthy enough to move through it. Number five, reduce testing anxiety. A 2007 study published in the journal Teaching and Learning in Medicine found that students who practiced deep breathing meditation before an exam reported perceiving less anxiety, self-doubt, and concentration loss than the students who did not practice deep breathing. 6, lower blood pressure. Taking slow, deep breaths for just a few minutes a day can help to lower your blood pressure, according to Dr. David Anderson of the National Institute of Health. While researchers have observed that slow, deep breaths can help to relax and temporarily dilate blood vessels, they don't yet know precisely why deep breathing has the capacity to cause a lasting drop in blood pressure, Anderson tells NBC News. And, that's true. One of the things we have to realize is that we're still learning about the human body, especially the brain, the nervous system, all of that. We like to turn to the so-called authorities and think that they have all the answers. But, as I always say, you get to know your body. Sit in silence, sit in stillness, sit in meditation, sit in your deep breathing. The best way to get to know yourself is by taking time to connect with that first source of life, which is your breath. And number 7, alter gene expression. A recent study found that mind-body practices like yoga, meditation, and deep breathing exercises can trigger the body's relaxation response, a physiological state of deep relaxation that alters the way it responds to stress. This state can counter the negative effects of stress for people with health conditions like anxiety and hypertension by actually altering the expressions of genes in the immune system. So there you go. That graphic, if you want to find it yourself, is a Huffington Post graphic. So thank you, Ava Sophia. Thank you, Music Heals Me, and Pavel and Chris. Okay. All right. So I hope I didn't bore you too much. And I should not have been trying to read the computer with my glasses because it makes my eyes a little bit blurrier when I turn them off. But yes, as Ava said, this is a precious lesson. And I agree, Ava, not because I'm giving it, but because the topic and, breath is our first source of life. Our breath is what sustains us and holds us and invigorates us and gives us our vitality and keeps us youthful, keeps us agile. Okay, so I want to just leave it there and invite you that if you want to schedule a one-on-one consultation session with me, check out my website, www.tamuandngina.com. That's tamuandngina.com. You'll see on there, I think I have it on that website where I do meditation and breath work, meditation coaching. You might also find it on my business website, which is www.mendsoul.com. And yeah, so check that out. And again, check out a little later today, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will have a special guest on, and we're going to talk about the monsters inside of us that are destroying us and that we need to get in check. And those monsters help to contribute to society as it is. So I think that's about it. And I'm going to leave it there. Here you go. This card represents our breath of life and what our breath of life does for us. It invigorates us. Our breath of life, engaging in that breath, helps to relieve us of our anxiety, helps to relieve us of all those things that would hold us back from fully embracing life, such as stress, anxiety, negative emotions, high blood pressure, all of that. If only we connect with the Fool within us, the windbag that we are, the breath of life that we are. But we must consciously connect to it. Consciously breathe nice and deep all the way down into our diaphragm, into our belly, so that our belly rises, then our chest rises, holding it for that one split second and releasing it. So again, thank you. So if we can take a moment to take a nice deep centering breath. Take a moment to remember our ancestors and all of those who have transitioned before us. I thank each and every one of you for joining me, Tamu and Ngina, Priestess of Self, and all of us in the chat room and all of us in the replay. Thank you for being here. Thank you for engaging, for contributing your energy. Have a beautiful day. Maybe I'll see you later on today. I wish you peace and great bliss.